Today on Fish It First, we're going to take a look at the Mystery Tackle Box Ice Fishing Edition. That's coming up next.
Here we go. Hooks up. Go.
Welcome back to Fish It First, the channel where you can trust the product reviews because we aren't sponsored by the manufacturers. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Mystery Tackle Box Ice Fishing Edition. This is from Carl's Bait and Tackle Company. I'm going to open this up. We're going to do a little unboxing today. I'm going to tell you what I like. If there's anything in here that I don't like or things that I would change, then I'm going to tell you how much I paid for this box and whether or not I think it's worth the value. Let's get to it right now. Alright guys, pretty excited for this. You're all familiar with Mystery Tackle Box. I've never gotten one of their boxes before, ice fishing or otherwise. Let's open this thing up. Do it in the most practical way possible here. So a bunch of baits in here. First one off, so that's kind of cool. That's telling you everything that's in here and then the value of each. We can take a look at that later. Alright, so let's look at our first bait here, Blitz Blade. So this would be a blade bait from Blitz Blade. Never heard of this company before, and actually ice fishing, I've never used blade baits before. I've used them for bass fishing, never used them for ice fishing. Don't really know anybody right now in the local area who is using blade baits for walleye on Lake of the Woods, but of course we can give it a try, and it'll be interesting to see how this moves through the water when we do the tank test later. Looks like they've got some information here, the dibble tips and tricks. We don't have time for that. We'll look at that later. Next up, Northland. Everybody knows this company. Everybody's using Northland products on Lake of the Woods. And this is their Glow Shot jig. Now, I have sort of steered away from these. It's such a bulky jig, and we tend to get bit on smaller jigs out here in the winter season. When it gets warmer out and you got some warmer waters, the walleyes get a little bit more aggressive and tend to do better with larger presentations. But typically, ice fishing, we're using the smaller spoons or the smaller jigs, so I've sort of steered away from these. These are in 3/8 ounce size, and it looks like essentially they've got a little light stick, little glow stick. This one's chartreuse that you break and pop in there so that you can be using these things even in murky waters and dark waters. So interesting. We'll give them a go. We'll take a look at them in the tank as well. Great company, Northland Fishing Tackle, makes some great stuff, so we're excited to take a look at those. Next on the list, now I fish with jigging wraps, I fish with Tikka minnows. This is clearly Vexen, the name of this company, Vexen's version. They call theirs the Crystal Reaper. That's ominous. Mystery Tackle Box exclusive. I'm guessing, I don't know if it's an exclusive lure for them or if it's an exclusive color. Let's see, color size down here is Bruised Craw. Bruised Craw, but essentially it's like a jigging wrap or a Tikka minnow where it's going to have that skirting and diving action. These are phenomenal walleye catching lures. And this is a pretty good size. I wouldn't go much bigger than this for ice fishing. That's a pretty good size. That's probably like a 5 centimeter bait right there. That one will be a lot of fun. Looking forward to using that. Next up here, looks like we got some micro jigs. So we're looking at crappie lures here. Whipper, again, a company I'm not familiar with, K&E Stopper Lures. The Whipper Ultimate Micro Lures. So essentially you've got a tiny little chartreuse jig right there. I'm guessing lead. Usually when they're tungsten, they actually advertise it as tungsten, so a little lead jig. And then 3 little plastic soft baits in there. That'll be fun to see in the tank and also fun to use out on the lake. Not a whole lot of crappie on the U.S. side of Lake of the Woods where we are, where we do most of our fishing, but these can be good lures for perch, so this will be fun to give a try. And then the last one in here, Widowmaker Lures. Not familiar with that company, but I do like to see that word on the top, tungsten lures, and already I can tell, even though these are very, very small jigs, they are quite heavy for their size. Another thing that I already like about these is the color. Pink is absolutely phenomenal on Lake of the Woods. That is my favorite color choice. Gosh, that is a small hook. Again, intended for perch and crappie, bluegills, your panfish, but we're going to give this a go as well. Looks like they've got a sticker in here from Catchco. But that is it. Those are all the lures. Let's take them to the tank and see how they perform. Well guys, that was sure interesting. Here are my final thoughts. I'm gonna take these lures, I'm gonna take these baits out on the ice, and I'm gonna be fishing them to see how well they work. If you follow Fish It First on Instagram, you'll be able to follow the updates of how well these are working for me there. And then at the end of the fishing season, we'll do a recap video and we'll sit down and we'll evaluate just how well these did. In terms of whether or not I think it's worth it. So if you total all these baits up, they're like $25.50 or so. And I paid $20 for this box. So in that sense, is it worth it? Well, you're paying less than what you would if you got these retail in a store. However, is it worth it in terms of what you get? And to me, I would say no, not for me. And here's why. This is going to catch fish, but not really the target species that I'm after. This is going to catch fish, but not the target species that I'm after. This will catch fish and the target species that I'm after, but this is not the color that is going to be as successful on this lake as some other color patterns. I mean, no disrespect to Blitz Lures, I'm sure that this is a great bait, probably in open water, specifically for bass. I just do not think that this is going to be successful. It's so bulky. I don't really like the action. The treble hooks are already getting caught up on the line and on the snap there. That to me is not worth it. That's extra money that I'm paying for that I don't need and I'm probably not going to have success with. And then these glow shot jigs just are not practical for me. They're too large, they're too bulky, and the whole thing of buying these little glow sticks and breaking them and popping them in there and losing half of them when you open up the bag, that's just not very practical for me. So for me, the mystery tackle box, ice box, it would probably be a no-go for me. If you're new to fishing and you're just trying to try out new things, maybe so, but even then, if you don't know much about ice fishing and you tie this on and go out and don't catch any fish all day, that's a true bummer, because you could have asked one of your buddies who maybe has a little bit more experience with fishing and they could have steered you in a better direction, or you could be watching this channel as we always try to do and steer you in a better direction towards stuff that works well so that you go out and have success every time that you're out. Well, that's it for today, guys. Say, if you like this video, go down and hit the little like button below, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification next to it so that you get all the latest videos from Fish It First. We have a quick tip coming up this Friday, and next week on Wednesday, we're going to be doing another mystery ice fishing box from another company, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Until next time, tight lines. There we go.